Ah!
Hello everybody, this is Dave at bluebearsgames. Today we are doing our first video in what I'm calling the Blues Budget Battle Brews section of my YouTube channel. Anybody that wants to know what that is, please go to my Blues Budget Brews series explained video. I will go ahead and have a link for that in the description. I will also have a thing on the top here that'll be able to click on it, and at the end of this video I'll also have that as my, one of my end things that you can click on as well. So if you want to know what this is all about, go to the Blues Budget Brews series explained video. On top of that, don't forget that I'm giving one of these decks away. It's explained in that video. Just go to that section. I've got it so it's timestamped so you can go right to that. Remember that you have to comment that you want a deck and like the video. Also, you can like this video when we're done, and also maybe, get me to that 500 subscriptions so I can give the deck away. So, there's that. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and go over the first deck that I have for this series, and I'm calling it the Rolling Stones. No, it's not based off of, Mick Jagger or any of that. This is actually a wall deck. It is based on a theory that you use in Commander with Doran the Siege Tower, and I'll go ahead and put a copy of him up here so you can see what Doran does. But basically it's just a wall deck that you can utilize because walls or creatures with Defender, because well, let's just be honest, not every creature that's a wall every creature that has Defender is a wall. Because they're very undercosted creatures for what they can do, we're taking advantage of that in this deck. So let me go ahead and start off. And we're going to start off with the creatures. So we're going to start off with the walls. We're going to start off with, and remember it's a 60 card deck, so it's not Commander, so you can have more than one copy of things in here. So we start with Gleaming Barrier. As you can see, it's 2 to cast for an 0/4. Defender, it is a wall. And again, correlation and causation, not every wall has Defender, not every creature with Defender is a wall. This comes into play and creates a treasure token, so you can kind of get ahead in mana. So for 2 for an 0/4, that's pretty good. The Amaranthine Wall is a 4 to cast 0/6, right? It has Defender, and then it can gain Indestructible for 2. So again, another wall has Defender, and it has an ability. Wall of Runes, and this is a white-blue deck, so you're going to see white and blue stuff here. Wall of Runes itself has Defender. It's 1 to cast for an 0/4, so that's pretty good stats for just 1 mana cost. And when it enters the battlefield, you scry 1. Again, that's what I'm talking about when I tell you that there is such value in these cards if you can take advantage of them. Defender is the downfall, but we are going to get around that, and I'll show you how shortly. There are 4 of them in this deck. As I've said, if you didn't go to the Blues Budget Brews explained video, I have a deck building structure that I go by, and every deck that I make for now has a full rare, or it will have an additional rare. So it's 3 rares, and then a flex spot, which is either another rare, which that will come later. I'm not going to do just the 4th rare right now. I'm going to do a foil rare or a mythic, and this is the one. And the reason is because he's 4 to cast for a 0/17. His abilities don't matter, but they help. His abilities are that he can't be targeted. It's basically the new ability that they call Ward, which says spells your opponent's cast that target Charix, the Raging Isle, costs 2 more to cast. The second ability you're not going to really use a whole lot, unless, of course, because he doesn't have Defender, he can attack. He's only in here because as we say, his ass is big. Hover Barrier, so flying 0/6 for 3. So there's that undercosted thing, because you're not going to find something that has a 6 defense for 3 that has flying normally. And there's a playset of them. Angelic Wall, a 2 to cast for an 0/4 flying, and it's a wall. It doesn't say it on here that it has Defender, but that's what that means when it says walls can attack. This is an older card. I didn't have an updated one to put in here, but that's what that means. Sunweb, I have 2 Sunwebs in here. This is of the 4 rares that will be in this deck. This is 2 of them. It's a 4 to cast 5/6. It has Defender. When it says walls can't attack, that means it has Defender. It has flying, just like the other ones did, and it can't block creatures with power 2 or less. This is not the point of them anyway. They're here to attack. The Good Wall, Wall of Denial. blue, white, and 1. It's a 0/8 defender, flying, and shroud. Like I said, 3 to cast for that power or that toughness for flying and for shroud, not happening. Only if it has defender. And then how we're going to make use of those walls and what makes this deck work. So we're going to go into that real quick. Rolling Stone says that your walls can attack as though they don't have defender, is what it says now. And then High Alert, I put a play set of High Alerts in there. And what that is it's the enchantment that makes it so this deck ticks fully. It says each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So let's take a look at that 0/8 wall for 3. So you drop the 0/8 wall down, people are going to laugh, then you drop a High Alert down and attack for 8 to the face flying. That's how this deck works. It's pretty simple, it's really basic, and when people see walls, they really don't do a whole lot. They kind of laugh. Well, that's where you get the last laugh. Creatures you control can attack as though they don't have defender, and then the bonus is that you can attack with them, and then you can untap them if you have extra mana. So a play set of those. A little bit of defense and strategy is Law Mage's Binding. 3 to cast, it's an enchantment, it has flash, and then it can make it so enchanted creature can attack. It can't block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. That's important for some things. The activated ability, you don't know what you're going to face, so that's what that's for. And there's a play set of them. Play set of Divinations, I believe, because you need to be able to draw more stuff in Magic. One of the greater things in the game, one of the most powerful abilities is that you always need fuel for your deck, and drawing cards is fuel. So there's 4 of them in there, so you can draw 2 cards with that. Swift Response, destroy target tapped creature. It's an instant for 2. What's important about this, just so you're aware, if an opponent declares an attack and then taps his creatures, you can in response destroy it before it deals combat damage. So remember that. Huatli, don't worry about the green on the hybrid. This is just purely going to be played for white. It says each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So it's redundancy, so you can make it so that your walls do something. There are 2 of them in there. And then, of course, it has an Imagine Charge for this. For -3, and you can do it twice before it dies. And if you have another one, you can just, whatever. You gain life equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Imagine Charge is out with 17. You almost double your life total in one shot. And that's the basics for the deck right there. Then, of course, I have 4 Azorius Guild Gates so that you can have mana fixing. 2 Evolving Wilds, again, more mana fixing. So with that, what I mean by that is, so there are fetch lands and then there are mana fixing lands. Like, fetch lands, go and get a land, put it into play. And yes, they help fix your mana. But they come in untapped. They come in tapped, but at least if you're stuck on one color, you can go and get the other color. So you go get a basic land, put it into play, and if you have nothing but islands, you can go get that plains you need, or vice versa. And then the rest is just islands and plains. And that's the basics of the deck. If you have any questions about that, you can always ask me. I'm always around. Just send me, I will put in the bottom of in the description how you can get a hold of me if you have any questions about this deck. Okay? One section I'm going to add to each Blues Budget Battle Brews is I'm going to add a section called My Tip of the Week. So for this one, this is more of a discussion about deck building, okay? In deck building, people have asked this question, how many cards should I play in X deck, okay? I have the 40, 60, 100 rule, okay? 40 for limited, so that's draft or sealed deck. 60 for constructed. And I know that it sounds redundant me saying that because that's the minimum you can have, but I'll explain why I'm telling you the minimums. And 100 for commander because you can't do anything other than that. So 40 for limited. So why do we do the minimum amount for a deck? It's pretty simple. You want to get to the powerful cards you've put in your deck as quickly as possible. When you add more cards, you dilute that ability. Probability and numbers dictate that the more stuff you add, the less probability you're going to have to draw the card you need when you need it. So that's why I do 40 for limited, and I'll go into another bit part of that in a second. I do 60 for constructed, and obviously in Commander you can't do anything other than 100, or if you're using a companion, you can do 100 plus 1 companion, so 101. In limited, so I've watched a friend of mine who does limited way better than anybody I've ever seen. I mean, he's a master. He always says your land count should be 17 lands, and 23 cards. And I've never subscribed to that, but he does better than me when it comes to limited formats. So maybe he's onto something. I do some cheeky stuff. So for me, I do 24 cards and 16 lands, and I do okay. I never really have to worry about the land part. But if you want to get cheeky with it, add one extra card and do 17 lands and 24 cards, and you have one extra card. And why would you do one extra card? So limited games sometimes draw out and you're stuck in a board state where it's stale. So nobody's able to do anything, right? If you have that one extra card, the possibility of if you have to draw your deck out, because that can happen, especially in a draw-heavy format for limited. There are some sets that are draw-heavy. If you have one extra card, sometimes that can be the difference between you milling yourself just by drawing cards every turn and your opponent milling himself. So sometimes I add that one. It's not often. It depends on the set. But that is my little tip of the day. So you always want to stay at the minimum just because probability and the numbers say that if you want to get to the cards you want, you always stay at the minimum. So 60, 40, 60, 100. Okay, so that's my little tip of the week. And if you have any questions about that, go ahead and comment, send me an email, or go to the Facebook page, whatever. So, now, what I didn't mention yet was that if you would like to purchase this deck or any of the decks that are going to be in the Blues Budget Battle Brews, which are 60-card kitchen table non-formatted decks, or possibly the Commander decks that I do have a bunch of videos for them, and I've sold a bunch of them recently, so I'm kind of running out, so I got to build more. There are many ways you can get a hold of me, so I'm going to put links in the description below. You can go to my Facebook page and contact me directly. You can email me at bluebearsgames@gmail.com, and I will respond to you. If I'm not asleep, I'm usually going to respond to you on everything. Comment in the section below. Give me a way to contact you, and I'll contact you myself, however you want to do it. Those are some ways you can do it. I do sell these on not just my Facebook Blue Bears Games page, but on the marketplace as well. It's in multiple sections, so if you want to look at what there is that I have to offer. This is, again, my first video for my Blues Budget Battle Brews decks. What's going to happen is I have decks made, and I'm selling them as I'm doing these, and probably before I get to them, I will have another version or the same version of a deck that I have listed for sale at some point. If it's not now, it will be later. So keep an eye out for that, or even ask me. I'll let you know if I can make it on the spot, because I'm always around to do it. So you can go ahead and do that. And remember, these are $20 a piece. And if you buy more than one of these, the Blues Budget Battle Brew decks, they're 20 for one, but after you're the first, they're each 15. So if you buy two, it'll be 30 instead of 40. So keep that in mind. Alright, so that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video. Also like the explanation video and comment in there whether or not you would like a deck. I'm giving one away for free, so once I hit 500 subs, I will give one person who said in that explanation of this series, one of those people will win a deck. So go ahead and like this video, like that video, and comment on either one if you'd like, if you have any questions or concerns, or even suggestions. I do take suggestions. If you have a deck that you'd like to see built, I will take a suggestion for that. If there's something I'm doing that you don't like, if you want to see me do something different, the way that I explain things, please let me know. I'm always willing to work with people, and I would like to please everybody, but I know that you can't please everybody all the time. Comment on this one if you like the deck, if you don't like the deck. It's a little original. It's one of my more original decks. It's not just, goblins or merfolk, what have you. And then, share the video out. If you know somebody that might like a deck like this, share it out to them. Maybe they'll share it out to more people, and, it's a grapevine thing. More people that see it, the more people will join up, and the faster we'll get to 500 subs, and the faster I'll be able to get a deck out. And I might do it again after I hit 500, so just keep an eye on that, too. And then that's about it for now. Remember, Facebook page, it's Blue Bears Games. Obviously, you're on my YouTube channel. It's Blue Bears Games here. Email, bluebearsgames@gmail.com. My name is Dave. Just know that, and if you need to contact me, you can do it that way. Anyway, thank you for watching. Stay safe. Stay, clean your hand, wash your hands, all that good stuff, so that you don't get sick. I like to see more people out there playing. And have a good week. I will see you guys next Friday.